Hi, welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is James, also known as the Only Zerg. I'm back with you guys for a what if that I have done thought experiments with over a year ago. After watching a few YouTubers that have already done this, there's also a third one that's going to be putting one out soon, and I figured with another person suggesting to me in PMs over Discord, combined with a few people that have asked me in several of my videos in the comment section, also with a couple of other people that have PM'd me a while ago, it would be nice to finally actually getting this one done and over with. And that is, what if Deku had UI, or Ultra Instinct? Now, this is Ultra Instinct from DBZ, but before people scream, "Oh, but he's going to be OP. He's going to be OP." Yes, but I figured I would explain to me, at least in my mind, what Ultra Instinct is. And an example that I'm going to give would be the differences between Whis and the Grand Priest. Whis has stated multiple times that every angel has mastered Ultra Instinct, or at least knows how to do it. So, Whis and the Grand Priest seem to be in Ultra Instinct all the time. But it has been stated multiple times that the Grand Priest is vastly more powerful than Whis. So, that being said, it could either be their base, but even if it's UI attributed only, that means there's different levels of Ultra Instinct as far as power scaling goes. So I'm taking this idea and applying it to Deku. He's born into a world where no one knows what spirit control is or what ki is. So he wouldn't have ki training. Though he would get some base increases, and I'm going to be heavily nerfing that so I can fit this Deku into the My Hero Academia world without completely breaking it and making everything a pushover to Deku. So the scaling that I'm going to give Deku as a baby, as a 5-year-old, you go back to Endeavor's years at UA. I'm going to put Deku at that level. Really powerful, but not OP. But when you consider it is a small child that has this level of power, to me, Deku is a little OP for his age, but as he gets older and he matures in the villains and stuff that he'll face, he will have easier time than what he does in canon, simply because the fact that most of the 99% of the time they're not going to be able to make a single dent on Deku because he'll be dodging it all, body moving without thinking, everything. So that being said, in everything, let's get into our story of Ultra Instinct Deku. We start our story in a hospital, a seemingly normal hospital. A baby's crying and a woman's laying there in a lot of breaths, breathing heavily and sweating, looking at her child with the look that only a mother can give someone. Everyone knows this look, the look of pure love on a mother's face towards her child. And the doctor and the nurse ask the woman and the man, "Mr. and Miss Midoriya, what should we name your son?" And at this, Inko says, "What about Izuku?" And Hasashi says, "Yeah, I like that too, sweetie. This is Izuku." As the doctor hands over Deku, to Hisashi's father, who then proceeds to hand over the baby to its mother. Inko is asking, but it's strange. Why does he have white hair and his eyes, they're gray? His pupils, they're gray. What's wrong with him, doctor? And the doctors are like, look over him and everything. And they say, well, doesn't seem like, it seems like he's healthy. Though the white hair and everything's abnormal. It may be a mutation quirk, for all they know. So that evening, when Deku is getting changed by one of the nurses in the nursery, the nurse is changing his nappy, and he gets kicked by the baby, and the nurse kind of drops to a knee real quick after getting nearly knocked the heck out by a newborn. And thank God Deku is a newborn when this happened, otherwise the nurse potentially could have been killed. So after collecting himself and eventually getting the newborn's nappy changed, he tells like another nurse what happened, and they end up talking to the doctor that is there, to the child doctor that is there in the court doctor. Doctors that are there for babies that may be born with like mutation quirks, like Sue. It's been noted that she actually had a mutation quirk from birth. It wasn't something that just manifested when she was older, but it kind of got stronger, and her quirk kind of evolves as she gets older, is my understanding of how mutation quirks work. So the doctor comes down and he runs a few tests on Deku. Then they bring him in with his mother after he's been completely cleaned up, and they explain to Inko that he may have a super strength quirk. And the nurse that is there says, like, rubbing his face, like, yeah, kid packs a punch. And Inko is kind of shocked and slightly mortified at this. And she's profusely apologizing. And then nurse just kind of looks at her and smiles. It's like, ma'am, you have no problem. You have nothing to apologize for. He's a baby, and he doesn't know his strength yet. But I'm glad he's a baby, because I can only imagine what it would have felt like when he was older to get hit by that. Which the nurse is thinking. It's like, Ms. Montoya, actually, I have something that could potentially help him out. When he gets older, you should look about getting him into some martial arts class. Inko's like, what do you mean? And the nurse says, well, when I was younger, my quirk was very hard and difficult for me to control. As he pulsates like electricity around like his fingertips and everything, yeah, I couldn't control my quirk well, and I hurt people but my parents put me in martial arts class, and it really helped me develop as a person. As I grew up, the more and more I learned about my quirk, the more, people made fun of me when I said that I didn't want to be a hero, even though I had a good quirk. I told them that I want to go into the medical field, because I figured I could use my quirk to start someone's heart or something like that, I thought it'd be useful in the medical field. Or when power goes out and they need stuff generated, I provide that service. But he's going to need something to focus his mind, or he could one day unintentionally kill someone. And at this, it worries Inko. So over the next several years, weird things starts happening with Deku. So when one time Deku is about 3 years old, and he's Inko accidentally drops a cup. And Deku's kind of underneath her, but before Inko can react, Deku kind of moves out of the way and then catches the cup before it hits the ground. And he's like, Mommy, look, I caught the cup for you. And hands it right to her. Inko's just like, oh, whoa. And mind you, this cup had coffee in it. Like fresh, like a hot liquid in it. And she immediately, after the initial shock, picks Deku off and says, little Isu, are you okay? Are you hurt? And Deku just smiles at his mom. He's like, no, Mommy, I'm fine. And she puts him back down. He says, that's fine. That's great, sweetie. And she tells Sasashi about this. And they kind of have a laugh about it. Because they were warned that Deku may, exhibit strange behaviors because it seems like he has had tests run over the years, and they don't know what's going on with Deku. Because every single time they cultivate a hair follicle, after a couple of minutes, it turns to a green flavor. And Deku has tried to turn his hair, turn off, but he can't do it. For Christ's sakes, he's a 3-year-old. He's like a baby. But we skip another year, and Inko can hear Deku in the living room, and he just got done watching one of his favorite videos of his favorite hero, All Might. And Inko comes running in because Deku's like, Mommy, look what I can do. Mommy, come, look. And as Inko comes into the living room, she sees her 4-year-old standing there with the sofa over his head. And just Deku's looking at her, smiling. It's like, Mommy, look. I'm as strong as All Might. I'm strong like All Might, look. And then Inko nearly has a heart attack at this because she's like, oh God. And she begins to think, a cross crosses her mind. And she hasn't really given it thought over the past 4 years. But the nurse's voice, what he said to her, kind of rings out in her head. And she's like, Sweetie, can you put the couch down for me, baby? And Deku's like, oh yeah, here, Mommy. And when Deku goes to put it down, he accidentally, puts a hole in the floor. And you can just see, a shocked family below them, and Inko screaming through the hole, I'm sorry, my child's quirk just went haywire, I'm really sorry. And the lady below them is like, it's fine, this little one, as, a baby, as, a little 4-year-old, a 4.5-year-old, or no, hold on one moment. I'm sorry about that interruption, but I kind of wanted to, double check this. And the little blonde-haired boy is creating, small little explosions in his hand. And this is when, you can just hear the boy say, Hey, Deku, guess what? Hey, Izuku, guess what? My quirk came in. And you just see, a little Izuku cautiously looking over, and then the little blonde-haired boy creating explosions. And you just see, Miss Bach, God, I can't. Mitsuki, you see a Mitsuki kind of, grabbing onto him. He's like, stop doing that, you little twerp! And Inko just kind of looks down at her, and also Mitsuki looks at Inko, and Mitsuki begins to laugh. It's like, we have some pretty troubled ones, don't we? And Inko kind of laughs, yeah. And she's like, I'm sorry again, Izuku's quirk kind of went out of haywire. And and at that moment, what the nurse told her crosses her mind. She's like, maybe I should start getting him into some martial arts training. And then she thinks, it's like they call in a contractor, and apparently this person had a quirk similar to Cemento's, so he was able to repair the damages fairly easily, and he sent the bill to Inko and Hasashi, and it was about the equivalent of 600 USD for it, because it was really just like a 2-hour job. The dude basically came in, moved stuff in the Bakugo's apartment, and he easily repaired it after cutting out a portion of the floor and bringing in new materials and stuff. So at that, we cut to like a couple of days later, and Inko and Hasashi are talking, and they're like, we should think about probably getting a house so that we don't have a repeat of that, and it'd be safer for other people. And Inko has a look of worry, and Deku comes up to her and is like, Mommy, what's wrong? And Inko like snaps out, and it's like, nothing, baby. It's just, Mommy was in deep thought. And then she says, Izu, how would you feel about learning some, like, a martial art, like karate or something? And Deku says, that would be fun. And so, like, in the preceding months, Ingo finds a karate studio that's geared towards that has a class for small children, and she gets Deku enrolled. And when Deku over these months, when Deku and Kansuki got together, like, the Bakugos thank the Midoriyas because they were selling their condo. Because I'm going to say this is it was a condo complex, not like a normal apartment complex. So, like, you own it, but yet you have to pay taxes or something, like, each year on the portion of the building. So the Bakugos were already in the process of moving out because of Mitsuki's husband's job. Like, they were moving out so that God, I can't think of his name, but Mr. Bakugo could work, and also they had thought about maybe having other children, so they had already been looking at a house to get. It was close by because they figured Katsuki has like some friends already, mainly being like Izuku. That would be nice to keep him around his friends, which thank God they do. But over the years, Deku's grown. Over the next year or so after this, the Midoriyas have moved out, and they were actually able to find a nice 3-bedroom house, like master and a master bath, and like each in two of the rooms they share a bathroom, and then it was also a 3-3. One like a 3-3 and then a 1M 1M. So basically a master bathroom and a master bedroom, and then the 2 bedrooms share a bathroom, and then there's also another bathroom that is fully operational, but this is outside and everything, or downstairs, and it's a half bath actually. So it would be a 3 2.5 actually. So they've moved into this, and Deku in his martial arts class has really flown by with it. It kind of comes natural to him, sorta, and he doesn't really have to work out because he's just naturally strong. He's never had to. It just seems as he gets older, he gets stronger and stronger. So, and with the fact that at the age of 5, he's able to bench press quite a bit for a 5-year-old. So as far as working out, he's never been able to like actually get tired from a workout. So there's very few things that can really wind him at this point. So he's probably, I would say he's already gotten to a blue belt in karate. And so Katsuki has, like, seen Deku growing, and Katsuki is still Katsuki, thinking he's better than everyone, including Deku. And Deku kind of, like, is agitated with his whole personality, and it doesn't really come into effect until they're really 6 years old, when Katsuki starts bullying people that don't have quirks or worse quirks. One day, Deku is just in the park, just kind of doing, like, his own thing, practicing his karate forms, when he sees Katsuki picking on a kid, and he kind of walks over and he gets in between the kid and Katsuki, and he's like, "Kachan, stop being such a jerk. You always pick on people that don't have, like, good quirks or quirkless. Just because someone has a weak quirk doesn't mean that they can't be better than what they are now. Someday, who knows?" Like, one day, like, pointing to, like, one of his friends that has, like, the wings. He's like, who knows? One day, maybe he'll be able to, like, carry a immense amount of weight or fly faster than, like, a plane. You don't know that. And also, another thing, if you don't stop, I'm not going to forgive you. And this is the first time Deku has really been outspoken towards someone, because Deku over the years has kind of kept to himself, just by the nature of his quote unquote quirk. Because there is one time that he kind of broke his desk when he got angry, and so he's kind of wary about touching people. Well, at this point, Katsuki comes in to, like, throw an explosion, and the explosion seems like it hits right next to Deku's head, but Deku kind of does, like, he kind of drops down to, like, his hand and turns around, and with one kick hits Katsuki in the chin, knocking him several feet back, and kind of giving him a broken jaw. And Katsuki's sitting there crying and everything. Deku comes running up to him and is like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, Kachan. It just, my body just reacted by itself. I didn't mean to." And, like, Mitsuki and Inko kind of, like Inko comes running over because she just gotten there to pick Deku up, and she's like, "Deku, what happened?" And Deku explains it, and Kachan's sitting there crying, and Inko collects Kachan up and says, "Deku, car now." And Deku's, like, gulps and runs to their car, and Mitsuki puts Katsuki in, like, the passenger seat and buckles him up and gives him, like, an ice pack, because I would say Inko, with the nature of Deku's quote-unquote quirk, thought it might be good to have different types of medical supplies on hand in their vehicle, just in case. Just in case. So she pulls out a pack and breaks it, like, cracks it, and then puts it in, like, a cloth bag and hands it to Katsuki and tells him to put it up against his face to kind of help with the swelling. And she immediately calls Mitsuki up and explains the situation and where the hospital that she's taking the boys to. And the whole time after Katsuki gets in, Mitsuki kind of comes in. And when Deku sees Mitsuki, he's like, "Auntie Mitsuki, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt him." And Mitsuki takes a deep breath, and she's like, "Izuku, it's okay, but you need to be more careful with your strength when you hit people." And this makes Deku a little bit more wary about actually using his power and his strength against other people. And after she's spoken with Kachan, like, she kind of chastises him a little bit, but then, like, grabs him and gives him a kiss on the forehead. "But in any case, baby, I'm glad you're okay. And I think you owe Izuku. You should talk to your friend Izuku. He's a little worried about you." And Katsuki's like, "I don't want to talk to that freak." And Minty says, baby, you started it. You shouldn't. He was right. You shouldn't bully people based on their quirks or the lack of. Because anybody can get better. Look at you. You have a good quirk, but haven't you noticed after, like, over the years it's gotten stronger? And Katsuki like thinks and think, yeah, mommy, but Deku really hurt. What he did, it really hurt. And Mitsuki just kind of hugs him a little bit. And she signs the paperwork and they're leaving. And Deku is out there in the hallway with his mom. And he runs up to Katsuki and kind of bows and says, Kachan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Like, I'm really, really sorry. As he, like, proceeds to do an Inuyasha, like, you know, the tornado guy during the thing where he puts his head into the ground. Deku bends down and hits his head on the floor, creating a hole in the floor, and Ingo just kind of face palms. And she's like, thank God I took out really good damn insurance on this kid. So, with that being said, you beautiful souls, I'm going to end this part here. This is part 0A. Part 0B is going to cover more so the interactions of Katsuki with Deku up until the start of the anime. In episode 1, we'll go over the first episode, the first couple of episodes, the first like 2 or 3 episodes of the anime. Also, down below, I've already started the poll down like in Discord, but down below, comment out of all the first years. It can be class 1A, it can be class 1B, it can be even be class 1C, which is general studies, and it could also be some rando first year that's in the list. We already have 1 vote for Kirishima, and I will leave this up this will be open for about at least 3 days. I'll keep this up. But I will also post down below and pin it that voting is closed. Also, I will be putting the description to my Discord in the description of the video. With that being said, I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.